Hello everyone, welcome back to the Brightworks. Today we're going to be taking a look at a viewer-submitted game on All That Glitters. We have some relatively high skill players in here. T. Cole likes pole, starting in the backline position. Mr. Klotz, very nice. Dark Ghost as well, starting in the back here. They're going to be the main backline of this northern team. Because remember, this position in the far left here, as well as the starting spot in the bottom right, can't really afford to tech with the amount of pressure that's put up on this hillside lane here. This mountainous Vias lane. Can't remember the name of that. Every time I commentate this, I try to think of the name for this sort of gulches and gullies type of terrain. But you get what I'm talking about. For our backline on the southern team, the Blues team, we have Poison, Azure Mist, and X-Knot. I'm going to speed this up to 4x speed. This is a replay submitted by one of our viewers. Should mention that if you want to submit a replay, you can submit it at brightworksreplays@gmail.com. Just like that. I can type, I promise. Now my hands are just very cold this morning, so still waking up and getting my fingers warmed up to commentate and cast here. brightworksreplays@gmail.com. If you have an interesting game and you want to share it with me, feel free to send it on over, and I'll take a look. See here, it doesn't look like any early game units, any scouting units managed to make it through. So these front lines are relatively secured. Do see a rover here from Furrow. Holding on as best he can, but not going to be long-lived for this world, as indeed it is mopped up by a contingent of pawns. Furrow now. Pushed up with his commander, but no supporting units, meaning that the commander is actually reasonably exposed. It doesn't take very many pawns to overwhelm a commander. If you get that surround bonus, especially, they can do quite a bit of damage. You see some mine layers coming out here on the left-hand side. It's always nice to see. As well as a push coming in from Fable. Now he has bots against vehicles. Of course, the vehicles are a bit more sturdy. So if they're controlled properly and you organize them well, they can be used to devastating effect. Now what's the plan back here? Looks like X-Knot is going to be going for T2 vehicles. Looks like the other two tech players on this team have not started teching yet and are instead focusing on economy. It's alright. We've got XEQTR. We'll call him Executor. Oh, it's probably Executor. Boy, it took me a while to finish that. Wow, we've got a T2 coming up here. Not even behind the front lines, but on the front line, building this T2 bot lab. That's well, if he manages to hold on to that, that's going to be extremely nice. But I mean, the distance between this bot lab and this vehicle lab right here, I mean, that's nothing. that's within artillery distance right there. That is really something else. We are building some arbiters to hopefully tear down this fortified position here. Clear these markings, by the way. Some people were asking me to clear the markings from the start of the game, so I'll try to remember to do that a little more consistently here. But as far as the right-hand side goes, mostly just T1, although Beckstradvarius has got himself a T2 bot lab, or rather a T2 vehicle lab, so that will be tremendously helpful. These are all just wall fortifications, but maybe scaring them off, making them think that they're the lightning towers. Deceptive strategy, but I love to see it. So many wind turbines being produced here, but not stepping up to T2 economy. Kind of an interesting play. Azure Mist looks like he's a relatively newer player. Very, very bold to throw your newer players into the backline here, but I guess, you know, it's important to learn all the different parts of the game, whether it's the backline or the front line or air or navy or, you know, whatever else it might be. Any combination of those as well. Always very nice to see. And we do see a few pawns that managed to break through here, but they were mopped up by the T2 bots coming out of T. Cole likes pole space. Very nicely done. Going to hold that very well. Aggression down here. These tanks breaking through, actually causing quite a bit of damage, allowing this artillery to shell away. Quite devastating. Oh no, the artillery get on top of this T2 bot lab. They're going to start raining down fire, and the bot lab goes down. Fable in a lot of trouble. He goes down as well. That's going to be devastating. We do see some Fiends break through here. They get mopped up by the commander. But as far as Fable's base goes, he is now reduced down to T1, but also his lane is now completely pushed back. He's going to have to clean up these medium tanks with what remains of his forces. His tank's breaking through and causing quite a bit of havoc, destroying some of his economy and tearing down his other facilities. You see a fat boy out here trying to cover this lane, but look at that. They're already mopping up this commander, hastily eating it up and converting it into their own war machine. You do love to see it. 2 fat boys now. We'll be able to put out a decent chunk of firepower. Definitely enough to easily destroy all those construction bots. But another wave of these medium tanks is ready to go. And go at will. They push through. Do find the metal converters, the energy converters. Oh, they find the T2 ones as well. That hurts really bad. Extremely high value out of these tanks for reasonably low cost. That was a great play. The fat boys are up now, and they are pushing this front line backwards as best as they can. Very slow firing unit though, so they're not, they're not an assault unit. They're more of a siege weapon. They tend to overkill a lot of this early T1 stuff. This Tiger tank putting in a good amount of damage here. This mine's finally coming into play. These are medium mines, so they do a decent amount of damage against those tanks. What is that, like 12% per hit? Maybe a little more. Yeah, pretty good damage. T2 artillery is out now, but one of the Tiger tanks has already broken through. Finds this huge array of solar panels. This nearly 6,000 metal worth of solar panels. Just downright devastating. Why don't we slow the game down a little bit? Put it down to 2x speed. We do see a huge amount of these Starlights, but they're facing off against snipers. It's kind of an interesting battle. The Starlights outrange the snipers, but the snipers, of course, can go invisible, meaning that they're able to pick apart those Starlights. Kind of an interesting engagement because they both one-hit each other. So, really just who shoots first. Age-old dilemma. Now, it looks like a lot of damage was done here on the right-hand side. It leaves the entire lane open, and Orange is taking full advantage of that. Probably the one who damaged the lane in the first place, because he knows that it's wide open now. But he does get some lightning tanks in here. They're going to go after the commander. And the commander looking like he's in trouble. And the commander does go down. It's going to chain react a bunch of those energy converters. And the lightning tanks get through as well. Snipers mop it up eventually. Very, very powerful unit. Sniper's definitely a comeback mechanic for Armada. If you're ever down and you're looking for a way to get back into a game, the snipers are a great option because they certainly can pack quite a large punch that you inevitably can turn against, well, T3 units especially, because they don't overkill those units. They just do a tremendous amount of damage. But also they're really great for picking apart those equally valuable vehicle-based compositions, because they do enough damage to compete with the damage, or with the health rather, of the vehicles. Now look at this push here. We've got a Tiger moving through. These solar panels aren't especially valuable. They don't produce a tremendous amount of energy, but all that metal that is being wasted when these are destroyed is pretty sad to see. Definitely would rather see those reclaimed and turned back into a more efficient energy producer. Some fusion reactors and stuff like that. You see a single Tiger tank making it through here. And it gets shut down by a Bulldog. Very good. The front line's now stagnating as these many Starlights mixed with all of these Sheldons are able to hold off the front lines. The snipers move forward and start firing. Taking serious hits too. You definitely don't want to clump up your snipers like this because they will get in the way of each other. The best practice is to spread them out as many as you can. I missed what happened right there, but it looks like some tanks or something managed to break through here and blow up a huge chunk of energy converters. Really powerful stuff right there. It looks like on our southern side, what are the late game strategies we're going for here? Looks like basically content to pump out these snipers. I don't hate that. In fact, I just played a game myself and I did almost the exact same strategy. X-Nod is looking to build up his economy, so he's starting a second fusion reactor on top of his already produced advanced fusion reactor. Or rather, I should say he's starting a second advanced fusion reactor on top of a already produced one. Huge army of orange lightning tanks coming down here. There is a few snipers here. I'm going to blow away a few of them, but they do have to recharge their shots. Those lightning tanks are quick, so they're going to get there before the second round of sniper shots gets off. And indeed, they break through to Blue's base, creating a tremendous amount of chaos here, taking down the T2 factory, doing a irreparable amount of damage to Blue in this back line. Purple now going to have to scramble some of his units to address this. But there's still a tremendous amount of these lightning tanks in the Blue player's back line. That being said, there's also a lot of tanks pushing here into the red team's back line, moving their way up. A lot of thugs in combination with these tanks and stuff. I do like to see it. We started up or rather, I think we resurrected a T2 vehicle plant, which is how we are producing T2 vehicles all the way up there. It looks like these lightning tanks were mopped up. Yeah, it looks like they went after the fusion reactor, didn't quite get far enough, and they were mopped up by these T2 tanks, these Tigers. This is quite an epic back and forth. We do see these lightning tanks going up against the Tigers. Not a great match for them there. These Tigers are extremely durable. Ooh, we do see a bunch of these Tremors. Very expensive unit to lose here. Being pushed in by T1 infantry. How sad. How sad indeed. There's a lot of Hounds and a lot of Tigers. If those push together, I think that's enough to break through this line of defense over here. Basically just lightning tanks and T1 units. Not going to stand a tremendous chance against a lot of these heavy artillery units. Yeah, you can see they just evaporate into thin air under the pressure of those Hounds. Ooh, a lot of Razorbacks coming in too. You know I love my Razorbacks. My Razorbacks. More lightning tanks. This lane has been completely devastated by these lightning tanks. Very thoroughly devastated. Yeah, you can see they make it into this backline here, and they're putting out a tremendous amount of damage. Every time they shoot, they're going to damage everything, well, A, that they shoot at, but also everything near what they shoot at. But these Razorbacks still looking very healthy and pushing into this back line here, and I do think in combination with these Hounds, this is going to be all it takes to break this back line as well. So now both right-hand sides of, or rather the bottom right-hand side for the Blues and the top left-hand side for the Reds are now both completely devastated, and we're watching them try to hold together whatever they can. These lightning tanks, not a great counter to these Razorbacks, because Razorbacks do outrange them, meaning that they can get quite a few shots off and put in quite a bit more damage before the lightning tanks even get to them. Razorbacks also incredibly durable, and they do take down a commander, blowing apart the backside of that base of red. We do see quite a lot of units mobilized here to the top left-hand side for the red team, trying to fortify that position there. I think it's a good idea. I think it's necessary, because I think if you don't do that, you're going to end up with quite a lot of units directly in your back line. Tremendous amount of these ambassadors here, firing away their missiles, but they are getting blocked quite a bit by this mountain. They're in range now. There we go. Not sure what exactly they're firing at, though. Hitting it. Wow, a tremendous amount of friendly fire. The snipers were just destroyed by a lot of those friendly rockets. Very, very important to be careful when you're doing that. This huge army of snipers now pushing forward, finding any place they can to let loose their cannons of war. Their high-speed particle cannons. Wow, look at all those windmills chain reacting back there. Very impressive. The Razorbacks trying to get out of the explosion radius. A few of them do. Enough of them to put quite a bit of pressure on this back line here. The right-hand side here. We see the swarm moving out. But these Razorbacks are going to put in a lot of work. Ooh, and down goes all that economy right there in the middle of the map. Not sure what happened there. I think a catapult might have friendly fired on some sort of unit that broke into the back line there. That is tremendously powerful, tremendously painful. But an excellent play by the Blues team here. It was holding on to this push now and is left with a tremendous advantage, economically speaking. Most, quote-unquote, most of their backline is left untouched here, and we see more and more of these snipers being pushed out to the front lines. An excellent idea because they're tremendously efficient, right? I mean, you are basically talking about one shot, one kill for most cases. Surprising that we aren't seeing more of a push from some of these other players here. We do see, who is this? Cow God, looking to start a new life for himself, rebuild from the ashes. 11 metal, 30 energy per second. Surviving more off the runoff from his teammates than anything else. Now, Blue just said that there's a Titan going to the right. He's probably talking about this enemy Titan here. Now, these Titans are good, but it doesn't take too many sniper shots to bring one of these down. I think a sniper does maybe 4% damage to one of these. Or it's 3 or 4 or something like that. And there's quite a lot of snipers here. I guess we can check, can't we? 37 snipers. They'll bring that Titan down pretty quick. And these snipers do tend to overkill, especially against these pawns. They'll all fire. Not only is one of their shots overkill for a pawn, but they will also tend to all fire at the same closest target. Meaning that a lot of the time, you're going to end up with a lot of wasted shots. So very important to cover these with lesser units that will not waste up the shots. Preserve your sniper's ammunition. It looks like they're trying to get into range of this Juggernaut here, which is a great idea. You can see them putting in the hurt on that Juggernaut. Bringing it down almost to 50% health with just one volley of all these snipers. Such a powerful unit. My goodness. The Razorbacks coming in for a bit of an assist here. And you can see the Juggernaut now being targeted by the snipers. And it goes down. Snipers reducing a Juggernaut, making it look paper thin. Oh, look at this though. We do have 2 Thors and a Titan pushing the right-hand side. Orange has been hard at work. Not been sleeping on their job. Not at all. Got a Razorback waiting to charge. I do like to see that. It's a good idea. Clear out some of that littler infantry. While these 2 Titan, or rather these 2 Thors on the right-hand side are pushing deeper and deeper into the enemy lines. And they're looking very healthy. We're going to need a D-gun or something like that in order to clear these out, because they are some strong units. They take out a ton of that build power here for purple. I don't know what the answer is going to be to these Thors. They are just... it's too much metal. Too much enemy metal in your back line. They take out the advanced fusion reactor. What a heavy hit. What an amazing play by Orange. He sends another Thor up here to help mop up some of these units. It looks like that will probably be enough to hold. There is some more Thors on Light Blue's team up there. But that's 2 Thors against 2 Thors. These Thors have finally gone down. I'm not sure what brought those down, actually. Oh, it was the snipers. I didn't see all these snipers right here. Just tremendous amount of damage the snipers can do. They bring down Thors with ease. What a devastating unit. What a back and forth. I mean, still spamming out Hounds. I would love to see a bit of a change up here. We do have the T3 gantry up and running. Might be time to start producing out of that. Quite a lot of windmills and quite a lot of these advanced energy converters. Not bad, of course. Just important to make sure that you don't stop scaling your economy, especially when you're behind like this. But are they even behind? I don't really even think so. There's just an equal amount of people on both sides here. We're looking at, what is this, 3 players left, 4 players left here, and 4 players left here, so it's devolved into a 4v4. And neither one is relenting, and I don't think they're wrong for that. I think that there's a lot of potential here. Kind of interesting. Instead of going for build turrets, we're just using the construction bots to power our array of T1 unit producers, T1 labs. That's what those are called. Pawn's getting a little bit of damage in here. What a defensive system here. We have double laser turrets, the twin guards, with a row of walls, and we have 2 rows of these. So each one of these is basically a quad guard, which does exist. the quad laser turret. It looks rather funny. You can access that if you enable scavenger units, building scavenger units on your advanced options menu. But suddenly, this is looking much, much better for the northern team here. Executor using his commander to degun some of those Thors, and a Razorback to put in the damage to bring down another one. Snipers moving forward here from the pink team, pushing against a wall of infantry from the southern team. Ooh, but that Titan manages to blow up one of these advanced fusion reactors, and that brings Executor's entire economy to a standstill. Let's see, now dropping down to 17 metal, 151 energy. Not nearly enough to put out the kind of units that are going to be needed to win this game. Getting tense here as these snipers are moving in, firing away at anything they please. There's so many of them, they don't even have to worry about conserving shots. But you can see these ones in the middle aren't actually firing. So sort of unfortunate, but those snipers do block each other, so you have to spread them out, otherwise they won't fire efficiently. And almost as if on cue, there he goes, spreading out the snipers, and they're all going to start firing much, much more rapidly. See, there's enough snipers here to take out this stream of pawns, which is just, I mean, you know you've hit the end game. That's possible. Pink's own ticks, rather, moving in here. And it looks like the Southern team, the Blues team, have decided to call it quits at the sight of those Thors and snipers pushing into their front line. What a tremendous game. I mean, absolutely back and forth, punch in the face, kick in the teeth match here. All the aggression on the Southern side, that was really interesting to see. And then the counterattacks up on the northern side. It seems like on Glitters, this right-hand side and top left-hand side are always the ones to go, just because of how difficult it is to defend that area up there. I think that was a tremendous holdout from both of these teams. I think both of them should be commended for their actions. But in the end, our victors, the Reds team, Dark Ghost, Furrow, and Like a Fox, congratulations as you win this victory. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. It does help me out a lot. We've hit over 300 now, which is just phenomenal. And the community keeps growing. It's an awesome group of people. And also consider sharing this if you're looking for you're looking to spread the good word of Beyond All Reason to your friends who like RTS games. They're looking for something new, something fresh. Consider sending them this video or any of my other ones. I do have a whole tutorial series now in case you're looking for a way to freshen up your skills or maybe learn some new techniques. But I think that's enough advertising for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.